Best of the Web columnist James Taranto. Welcome, James.
Thanks. Good to be here, Jason.
So in recent days, two Obama administration officials have come out in support of gay marriage. Let's watch a clip of one of them.
I am absolutely comfortable with the fact that men marrying men, women marrying women, and heterosexual men and women marrying women all are entitled to the same exact rights, all the civil rights, all the civil liberties. And quite frankly, I don't see much of a distinction beyond that.
So that was obviously Vice President Joe Biden. Education Secretary Arne Duncan had said something similar in support of gay marriage. James, but the president says his views are still evolving. What do you make of this?
Well, the president is obviously trying to have it both ways. Now, first of all, let's, if you parse that Biden clip very quickly, what he said is that he's comfortable. He didn't actually endorse a policy. So it's not quite clear what he's saying there in terms of policy. I'm not sure how much that differs from what the president has said, but he has said he's in favor of civil unions. I guess at some points he said he's against calling it marriage. And he's courageously sticking by that position to the point where apparently he canceled a trip to North Carolina today, incidentally the state where the Democrats are holding their convention in the summer, because North Carolina is voting on a ballot initiative that would amend the Constitution to put in the traditional definition of marriage.
Right. Now, James, I wanted to talk to you about some of the things that President Obama has done that the gay rights community likes. He's ended Don't Ask, Don't Tell in the military. He's instructed the Justice Department not to defend the Defense of Marriage Act, but he won't take this next step. Why do you think that is?
Well, I suppose you could make the argument that it's not really clear what the president would have to say about that anyway. Congress is not going to pass legislation legalizing same-sex marriage nationwide. It's going to be done on a state-by-state basis, or perhaps at some point by the Supreme Court. So maybe he's just trying to avoid a controversy. Now, it's not as if national Democratic politicians don't take a position on this, I mean, they try to have it both ways. John Kerry, in his 2004 acceptance speech, made a veiled reference to abusing the Constitution to, I forget exactly how he put it, but for those who knew, it was what they call a dog whistle to the gays, but one that might not be recognized by other voters. I think Obama is sort of trying to have it both ways. The problem is that his gay supporters, who are a significant part of his base, are getting impatient and are demanding that he, as some put it, come out of the closet.
James, do you think that, well, first I want to say that the public, the trends in public opinion polls seem to be in support of gay marriage. The most recent WSJ, Wall Street Journal, NBC poll from March showed 49% of Americans favor gay marriage, with 40% opposed. And as I said, the trend from previous polls seems to be in favor of greater support. So you'd think the president might have that in mind. But what I wonder is if there's some racial politics going on here, James. Obviously, black Americans are a very important part of the president's base, and particularly older black Americans aren't particularly in favor of gay marriage. Do you think he has those voters in mind?
If you look at the results at the exit polls of Proposition 8, the California initiative from 2008 that passed with to reverse a state Supreme Court decision, blacks supported Proposition 8, that is, they opposed same-sex marriage, 70 to 30%. Hispanics also supported it by a small margin. I think it was 53 to 47. So yes, this is an area in which the Democratic base is not necessarily in agreement. There was another fascinating story from 2004, by the way. During the vice presidential debate, John Edwards made a very smarmy reference to Dick Cheney having a lesbian daughter. I guess, as he put it, a gay daughter. John Kerry later said a lesbian daughter. Well, look what that did. That won, that was an effort to win plaudits from the gays, but also to signal to people who might be socially conservative Democrats who might be tempted to vote Republican. This guy has a gay person in his family. It was really quite a cheap shot.